Welcome to the 2021 Black History Month Assembly Program. This year, we asked students to consider the theme, Justice for One, Justice for All. The idea of justice is at the heart of our American consciousness, especially now. I hope you enjoy our program.
I am Black history. I am my ancestors' wildest dreams. I am the griot who traveled on these ships, brought here forcefully. I am the call and response that we gave to each other in the fields as we toiled from sun up to sundown. I am culture. I am love. I am excellence. I am history. I am R&B. I am rock and roll. I am jazz. I am country. I am Black history.
James Baldwin was an American essayist, novelist, and playwright born in New York on August 2nd, 1924. His most famous works include Go Tell It on the Mountain, If Beale Street Could Talk, and Notes of a Native Son. He was also an activist for equal rights, and his works explore the intricacies of race, gender, and class distinctions. Here's a quote by James Baldwin on an artist being society's truth tellers. The crime of which you discover slowly you are guilty is not so much that you are aware, which is bad enough, but that other people see that you are and cannot bear to watch it, because it testifies to the fact that they are not. You're bearing witness helplessly to something which everybody knows and nobody wants to face.
Black Lives Matter. What does that sound? Hands together formed in a crowd. Those same words said out loud. All the people around us bringing us down. What do we have to do to win the war? Broke our hearts, let it tore. Sewing up the stitches, I still feel sore. If all lives matter, what does Black Lives Matter for? Social media has it worse. More and more crimes feel like a curse. This world couldn't be any more diverse. Eyes filled with water, ready to burst. Defeat is what we are. Hate crimes from afar. Black on black crimes at the bar. Saying my prayers, wishing on a star. What are we doing living on the streets? All I feel in my heart is heat. This can't stop every day on repeat. Bodies drop, family crying to their feet. There is no choice because the world is live. During this pandemic, trying to survive, having to thank God that we are even alive. Continue to protest, continue to strive. Beat, hit, kick, shot. Another passing around the clock. Police brutality raising up on the dot. How many more lives gone until you're on top? How many more lives gone until you're number one? How many more lives until you see us stunned? How many more lives gone until you know that you won? How many more lives until you say that you're done? This does not make any sense. Our people locked up in a fence. Quote unquote, y'all animals. No offense. Last year could not be any more intense. In conclusion, Black is beautiful, different, and divine. We are trying our best, trying to have a little sunshine. Even though everyone has their own way of being kind, Black lives still exist in this world during these crucial times. Thank you.
This video is about Shirley Chisholm. Shirley Chisholm was born November 30th, 1924 in Brooklyn, New York. Shirley Chisholm was an author, educator, and an American politician. She is most remarkably known for being the first Black woman elected into the U.S. Congress as New York's 12th congressional district from 1969 to 1983. On January 1st, 2005, in Ormond Beach, Florida, after suffering several strokes, she had sadly passed.
The marginalization, harm, and hate that I see fellow people of color receive is becoming more and more emotionally and mentally draining to deal with. It's tiring constantly being put below everyone else and even having a culture being stolen and appropriated by non-blacks. There's times where I lose hope that racist people will finally change their mindset for the better and become educated. It's sickening seeing innocent lives such as George Floyd and Breonna Taylor get taken away for no good reason other than looking like a potential threat because of how brown their skin is. No Black man should have to be self-conscious of how they're being portrayed by strangers in public because of what they're wearing or what facial expression they may have. No Black woman should have to be self-conscious of their behavior or attitude because of possibly being looked at as only an angry Black woman who only wants to fight as a way to solve a problem. Despite all of this, my beautiful melatonin skin is one of the features that I love about myself the most. I will still walk this earth with self-love no matter how many people try to take it away from me because of my skin color. I will still love who I want to love, and I will prove the world wrong by fighting against Black stereotypes and becoming a successful, independent, hardworking Black woman as I get older.
Why racism? Why hate? If we all come for the same fate? Why crazyism? Why the abuse? if we're all in the same loop. No hate, no shame. Get everything right, and we'll all be alright. Help one another. Get through it with each other. The world will never be right if we don't unite. Let's make a start. Let's make a mark. Anti-racism is the mark, and love is the start.
Charles Edward Anderson, or Chuck Berry, was born on October 18, 1926. Chuck Berry was an American guitarist, singer, and songwriter. In terms of performance, songwriting, and guitar playing, Berry is considered one of, if not the greatest pioneer of rock and roll artists. Its catalog of early rock hits includes some of the most iconic songs of the genre, many of which became hits again when covered by later artists. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame includes 3 of Berry's songs, Johnny B. Good, Maybelline, and Rock and Roll Music. Chuck Berry is universally considered the father of rock and roll. He's the first one to put it all together. The country guitar licks, the rhythm and blues beat, and lyrics that spoke to a young generation. While rock and roll isn't really considered a Black American musical genre today, it's steeped in Black musical tradition and genius. He died March 18, 2017.
Hi, I'm Asia and I'm the author. And my poem was inspired by life itself and many more. This is my Black History Month poem. All lives matter. Not just yours, not just mine, and not his or hers. White, Asians, Latinos, Native Americans. We all matter. This is Black History Month, and there is a lot to be said. But we say Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Nelson Mandela, James Baldwin, and more. They all made differences. So do we. Do not stop dreaming. Our youth matters. Today, at this moment, matters. Happy Black History Month.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. Look up ahead. The path is there. The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared. I know you're scared. And I'm scared too. And I'm scared too. But here I am. But here I am. Right next to you. Right next to you. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
This video is about Toussaint Louverture. Toussaint Louverture was born May 20th, 1743 in Cap, Haitian, Haiti. He is most notably known for leading a triumphant slave revolt that freed the slaves of Haiti. After this, he had turned Haiti into a country administered by former slaves, also having himself the leader of the entire island. Sadly, in 1803, Toussaint Louverture had died from pneumonia and malnourishment after being imprisoned in France.
All you violated ones with gentle hearts, all you violent dreamers whose cries shout heartbreak, whose voices echo clamors of our cool capers, and whose black faces have allowed pits for our eyes. All you gambling sons and hooked children and Bowery bums, hating white devils and black bourgeois, thumbing your noses in burning red suns, gather around this coffin and mourn your dying swan. Snow white Moslem headdress around a dead black face. Beautiful were you sandpapering words against our skins. Our blood and water pour from your flowing wounds. You have cut open our breasts and dug scalpels in our brains. When and where will another come to take your holy place? Old man mumbling in his dotage, crying child unborn.
Umpalia Marcima Valentin, also known as Sugar Pie de Santo, was born October 16, 1935, to an African-American mother and Filipino father. She became the most prolific and highest-paid writer at Chess Records. Her songbook contains more than 100 compositions, which have been recorded by the likes of Minnie Riperton, Billy Stewart, Fantella Bass, The Whispers, Little Milton, The Dells, and Jess James. Also while at Chess Records, Mrs. Santo recorded 2 historic duets with Etta James, In the Basement and Do I Make Myself Clear? The latter song was featured in the 1999 movie, The Hurricane. Sugar Pie de Santo is still alive today.
I did my project on a poem by a man named Langston Hughes. The poem's called Freedom. I chose this poem because it fits the criteria the best. I think it is the best worded, and I feel like it is I think it's just a great poem. And this fits with the criteria of justice for one and for all, as in the poem he talks about equality among everyone and how we can come together for this to happen. All right, the poem goes: freedom will not come today, this year, nor ever, through compromise and fear. I have as much right as the other fellow has to stand on my own 2 feet and own the land. I tire so of hearing people say, let things take their course. Tomorrow is another day. I do not need my freedom when I am dead. I cannot live on tomorrow's bread. Freedom is a strong seed planted in a great need. I live here too. I just want my freedom, just as you.
Josina Machel was born October 10, 1945, in Mozambique. Josina Machel was a revolutionary Mozambican fighter for Frelimo. Frelimo fought against the colonization of Mozambique by the Portuguese. During 1968, the women's branch evolved into a de facto social services program for Frelimo in the liberated areas. It organizes health centers, schools, and child care centers. It helps families whose homes have been destroyed and provides emotional support to wounded soldiers and peasant families traumatized by the warfare. Josina plays a visionary role in identifying the need for child care centers to look after children who have been orphaned or separated from their families by the war. She has a school named after her Mozambique capital. On April 7, 1961, Josina died of cancer. April 7, the day of her death, marks National Women's Day in Mozambique.
with liberty and justice for all. A mantra to live by, a phrase to die by. Words penned by Francis Bellamy in 1892. Meant for Americans, native born, immigrants, white, not black. Men, not women. Liberty, independence, emancipation, opportunity, justice, justness for all. For all except George Floyd. For all except Breonna Taylor. For all except Martin Gugino. For all except Walter Williams. For all except Brian Sicknick. For all except so many Americans. America with liberty and justice, justness for all.
We are frightened.
We are frightened.
We are angry.
We are angry.
We are rising.
We are rising.
We are hopeful.
We are hopeful.
We are peaceful.
We are peaceful.
We are striving.
We are striving.
Won't stop fighting.
Won't stop fighting.
Won't stop marching.
Won't stop marching.
Won't stop dreaming.
Won't stop dreaming.
Won't stop loving.
Won't stop loving.
And proclaiming.
And proclaiming.
And believing.
And believing. Our voices are united, louder than hate. We have gathered here. We've had all we can take. Our time has come. You will hear our call. We're fighting for liberty and justice for all.
We are frightened.
We are frightened.
We are angry.
We are angry.
We are rising.
We are rising.
We are hopeful.
We are hopeful.
We are peaceful.
We are peaceful.
We are striving.
We are striving.
Won't stop fighting.
Won't stop fighting.
Won't stop marching.
Won't stop marching.
Won't stop dreaming.
Won't stop dreaming.
Won't stop loving.
Won't stop loving.
And proclaiming.
And proclaiming.
And believing.
And believing. Our voices are united, louder than hate. We have gathered here. We've had all we can take. Our time has come. You will hear
Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain I rise. A black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so, naturally, there I go rising.
May the last one burn into flames. Freedom, freedom.